Good afternoon, Wildcats. I'm Anissa Patel.
And I'm Millie Normark, and you're watching WCAT Weekly News.
Well, Millie, we're only 1 week away from Thanksgiving.
That's right. And in spirit of being thankful, Westminster's annual Thanksgiving service is this Friday.
Make sure to come dressed up this Friday in appropriate attire.
Anissa, do you have any Thanksgiving traditions?
Yes. All of my family comes to our house and we make a huge meal and talk about everything that's been going on throughout the year.
For more on Thanksgiving traditions, let's go to Foster.
Hey Cats, I'm Foster Berlin. The weather is quickly getting colder, which means that Thanksgiving break is fast approaching. Let's hear about some of our friends' traditions for Thanksgiving.
I'm going to Alabama to see the rest of my family.
I'm going to Chattanooga to see my family.
I'm going to Garner's house to see my family.
I'm going up to the mountains to see my family.
I'm Jake, and some of the traditions I usually do for Thanksgiving is I'll spend time with my family and have my grandparents come in town. I usually just hang with my dogs.
Jack Kellett, and during Thanksgiving my cousins come into town and we celebrate Hanukkah early with my whole family, so latkes and everything.
I'm Fiona, and we also stay in town, and on Thanksgiving we have a really competitive game of categories with like our whole family.
For Thanksgiving I'm going to Scotland.
I'm going to the lake.
I eat turkey with my family.
Wow, it sounds like our cats have some fun plans and awesome traditions waiting for them. I personally am so excited to dig into some mac and cheese and cranberry sauce. Thanks, Cats. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Foster. Hey, Millie, do you know when the first Thanksgiving feast was held?
Can't say I do.
1621. Now, let's go to Kyle and Edu's random trivia segment.
I'm Edu.
And I'm Kyle.
And welcome back to the new segment of Random Trivia.
Can you name 3 countries that start with the letter F?
France. France. France.
All right. What is the capital of Spain?
Madrid.
Oh, good job.
What's the capital of Mexico?
Mexico City.
Can you name this country?
Can I get what continent it's in?
It's in Europe.
Ten.
Is it Spain? France?
Close.
Can you give us a definite answer?
I'm gonna say it's Spain. France.
It's France?
France.
It's actually Spain.
No way!
Back to you guys in the studio.
After break on November 28th, Wildcat students have the opportunity to perform their music, poetry, dance, or art at the DEI hosted event Amplify.
It's a great event to celebrate and highlight students' elements of identity, intersectionality, or inclusivity.
If you would like to participate in Amplify, then scan the QR code on the screen to apply.
Identity has been a current topic in our society. Abby Warshauer spoke earlier this week about anti-Semitism and the importance of paying attention.
Hi, my name is Abby Warshauer and I'm a senior. So if you've been paying attention to the news lately or maybe on social media, you might see that there has been an increase in anti-Semitism lately. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. As long as there have been Jews, there's been hate against Jews. There's always been anti-Semitism. Of course, the Holocaust is probably the most well-known and largest scale of anti-Semitism we've seen, but there was anti-Semitism before the Holocaust, and anti-Semitism still persists afterwards. In the United States, the past few years, there's been an uptick of anti-Semitism. In 2018, there was a shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue. In January of 2022, there was a hostage situation in Colleyville, Texas. And now, of course, in October of this year, there were the most recent comments of Kanye West, which were anti-Semitic comments. And that's probably what you've been seeing lately if you've been paying attention. Since his comments, it didn't end with just that, but there's been a massive increase in anti-Semitic rhetoric online and also anti-Semitic actions. This has been everywhere from the Florida-Georgia game to in Atlanta, there was anti-Semitic graffiti just last week at a MARTA station. So that's what's happening, just to provide a little bit of context. And I was able to have some conversation with members of our community to talk about this issue.
What we know is that Westminster is a community that is very tight-knit, but on the other hand, there's nothing that separates us from the broader nation as a whole. And as a school, we have looked at and we've seen these rising acts of anti-Semitism across the country.
When we educate ourselves, we start learning about all the different ways that people have contributed to anti-Semitism and realize that I've contributed to it. That I've made jokes that I learned later weren't okay. And so when we start just building that up, we can help to stop and to tell people and to help educate other people.
It's really important to stay aware of what's going on outside of your community and outside of internally. You know, I may say, well, I'm not a racist person, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't stay really well versed on what's going on in our community, in Georgia's community, and nationwide, especially right now on social media and stuff. It's really, really important to stay vigilant and stay aware of what's going on, because even if you yourself may not be spewing hate, or being anti-Semitic or whatever, it's still really, really important to stay aware and stay vigilant on what's going on.
If you hear something said, even if it's not directly to you, just hear it. Don't be afraid to talk to a student, an adult on campus, or even a student leader like myself or Lauren or the grade chairs. Just know that you can be comfortable reaching out to anyone, and it's better to say something than to stay quiet about this issue.
We want to make clear that we do not condone, we will not accept, and we want to find ways to combat anti-Semitism at all levels in the school community. If you see something, if you are worried about something, if you hear something, please talk to either Ms. Ward and Dr. Adcox, who are the faculty advisors for the Discipline Council. Find a grade chair, find Ms. Harless, the Dean of Student Life, or me as the Dean of Students, or really just find any trusted adult on campus. And then we will make sure that we find a way to use the disciplinary process at the school and the Discipline Council to find a way both to stamp out the moment, but also to make sure that students learn and grow, and we have the opportunity to create a more inclusive community.
I wanted to thank Mr. Batchelor, Reverend Charney, Tyler, and Lauren for having these conversations with me. I think it's also important to recognize that this was something that the school wanted to do, to act on this issue, and not coming from Jewish students. So I'm thankful that I was able to support this process, but this is something that the school decided to do on their own, which is pretty cool. So thank you for listening, and I really hope you learned something.
Thanks, guys. Now let's go to Ryan with sports.
Thanks, Millie and Anissa. Winter sports are in full swing as wrestling hosted Mount Pisgah in New Manchester last night.
All right, so our first home meet was this Wednesday. We were hosting Mount Pisgah. We're about to wrestle in New Manchester. The season's been going really well so far. We have a lot of new incoming freshmen. They've been working hard and grinding in practice, so we're looking forward to see them continue the season. Me, Mac Thompson, Sam Revis, and Cooper Thomas, we're looking forward to our final season as seniors. So it should be a good season, and we're looking forward to be competitive this year.
And both boys and girls swim teams have a big meet in Chattanooga this weekend. The girls basketball team opened up their season against state finalist GAC on Tuesday, beating them 53-47. The boys team opens up their season on Friday against Galloway. Good luck, Cats. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
Make sure to be on the lookout for the latest edition of The Byline, Westminster's student-run newspaper.
Hi, I'm Melanie John.
Hi, I'm Anya Triganti, and we're this year's head editors of The Byline. We just released our October issue. You all can find it at thebyline.com.
Yes, we have a really great variety of articles this month. In the art section, we have Helen Hong's article about the recent musical Les Mis, and in the opinion section, we have Riley Isaacson's suggestions for the English department.
In the sports section, we have an overview of Kate Quigley's commitment to Columbia. And in the news, Selena Patel wrote a really great article on Hispanic Heritage Month. You all should go and check those out, support your peers, and just get updated on what's happening around campus and around the world.
Yes, and we'll typically release all of our monthly issues during the first week of each month, so make sure to go check it out on thebyline.com then and read every article you see.
Thank you.
Also, if you are a poet or writer, be sure to submit your project to Evolutions magazine by December 9th.
Well, that's all for this week's news. I'm Millie Normark.
And I'm Anissa Patel, and we will see you next week on WCAT Weekly News. Go Cats and stay wild.